guessing, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Long as I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. Sports Coma, yeah, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like this and I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Sports Coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Somebody please better help. Running this thing like elf. I thank God every day I'm not a felt. Go to YouTube Live with Big Q and the guys. If you ain't ride or die, the bandwagon get flipped. Been marching in, that was way for the ring. I was yelling out your shade for the championship. Bucking on Tampa, duck down. Falcons, pluck, get shut down. Panthers ain't much touchdown. The vision really belong to us now. So much hate on the Saints, you could probably tell. Ever since Bounty Gate hit the NFL, when things seem fishy and you probably smell the crooked referees or Roger Goodell. Probably like this and I'm a who that. Every day I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. It's the Sports Coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like this and I'm a who that. It's the Sports Coma, this is where we do that.
You're listening to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys on the PRO Media Network.
All right, shout out to the fam, man. Appreciate y'all. Hope y'all having a fantastic afternoon and actually a pretty good weekend. Shout out to the fam. Big ups to the fam. A big round of applause to you guys. Yes. Yes, indeed. Shout out to the great Saint Think Tank, the mighty Who Dat Nation. We in this one, man. Appreciate y'all. Hope y'all having a fantastic Sunday weekend. Whatnot, man. Listen, man, we in this thing, man. Much love to the fam, rocking this thing. So, like I said, been saying for a long time now, welcome. You're now rocking with the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys, where we have intense, entertaining, educating, and enlightening sport talk from your favorite sports fam. We in this thing, man. Shout out to the fam. Been a very interesting weekend in terms of different news, notes, and items with the black and gold, the Pels, boxing. You know, we see some good fights that happened this past Friday as well. So very good weekend for different things. But anyway, shout out to the fam. Please do me a service and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. And by all means, feel free to share the show on your social media feed. We in here representing the mighty Who Dat Nation, man. Shout out to everybody. Mocha, good to see you, fam. Appreciate you. Hope everything is well with you. Brother Bronze is in this thing. What's up, Ro? Shout out to you. All right, Daniel. His team is crazy. Nah, before we get too much into that, let's get your popcorn ready. That's right. Shout out to you, Slade. Good to see you, fam. Kai in the building. Shout out to Kai. What's up, Beverly? Shout out to the queens and the kings of the Coma, man. We up in this thing representing. All right, Louisiana, man. Shout out to you. How you doing, fam? Appreciate you. All right, Tanya says to trade Lattimore and Davis is completely loose. Oh yes, but listen, we're gonna talk about this, man. So kind of hold your don't quite kind of hold everything together, because we got a few things that we're gonna talk about here on the stream, man, as well. So it's all good. All right, Daniel, thank you, fam. Appreciate you as well. Appreciate you too, fam. Eternal, shout out to you. Chief Peanut, shout out to you, fam. Good to see y'all. Appreciate everybody. Y'all hit the like button and feel free to give a share. All right, so anyway, let's get right into it, man. And this is an article right here. Shout out to John Sigler at the Saints News Network. At Saints Wire, rather. And he did a wonderful job in breaking this down, because this was sourced from a and let me see if I could pull some of that up. This was actually coming from by way of Jason Lockenfora. Remember Jason Lockenfora used to work for an NFL Network. He used to work for CBS. I think he's with Washington Post now. And he was the one that wrote an article about this, and we'll cover this about what Lockenfora said about a potential trade involving Demario Davis. So, and also let's get into it. So this is it right here. Saints are likelier to extend Demario than to trade him. So let's look into it. Could the Saints trade Demario Davis? That's what Jason Lockenfora said he works for the Washington Post. He wrote an article on it, and pretty much what some of the meat and potatoes of the article was is that the Saints, and this is what he's saying, that the Saints are pushing to find a trade partner for Marshon Lattimore and Demario Davis. And those are two big veteran stars for the defense. There is no replacing those guys currently unless the Saints attack free agency looking to find a player of their magnitudes there. So, but I would say and I'm not saying this has legs, but as far as Demario Davis is concerned, if Demario Davis is considered to be traded, then that would, we haven't had a linebacker as good as Demario Davis in a very long time. I would dare say he's the best player to ever wear number 56. And that's saying a lot because the great Pat Swilling wore number 56 before Demario Davis did. And Demario is so good that he makes you feel like, I don't know, we might have to get that one. You see what I'm saying? But Demario's been fantastic, man. But anyway, let's finish this up here. And that Canfora is saying that the Saints are pushing to find trade partners for Lattimore and Demario Davis. Now, Davis currently has a salary cap hit of north of $18 million, third highest on the team. Trading him would save about $5 million. The NFL's oldest starting linebacker at 35, but he's won 4 consecutive spots on the AP All-Pro list. Back-to-back appearances in the Pro Bowl games. Has no sign of slowing down, but eventually, age catch-ups to us all. But Demario Davis has just been having fun. If they're so worried about the cap, and they aren't, the Saints reported moves have them in about the red of just over almost $11 million. Now, the Saints would save almost twice as much money with a standard restructure, which is just over $8 million, and they still have Davis on the roster. He's entering the final year of the deal. There's a risk of him leaving a lot of dead money behind by next year if they take that route, which brings us to the possibility of an extension. I totally agree with the extension with Demario Davis. We want to keep Demario Davis for the rest of his career. He's earned that, right? Just like we did with Cam Jordan. It's the same type of thing that needs to happen with Demario Davis. Now, granted, you do that for Demario, but you find a replacement for Demario Davis. A young person you can groom there to kind of step up behind Demario. We got Pete Werner there, but you still need another guy. And right now, we don't know. We don't have such a player. But anyway, so they say that approach that would, that's the same kind of day cutting a deal with Davis would save even more money, the $8.6 million, by redoing his contract and spreading his already guaranteed money out while ensuring he'll get to retire in the black and gold. The same approach they took for Tyrann Mathieu, the same thing for Cam Jordan. Makes sense to use the same mechanisms. According to what Sigler said, he's an important leader and a playmaker on the defense. I agree wholeheartedly. You should never say never in NFL, but the money alone makes trading Davis a bad idea. To combine that with his contract status, still impressive level of play and options available to him, it's tough to draw some conclusions that Canfora came up with. The only certainty is that Davis can't be playing for the Saints. He says can't be playing for the Saints this year as his contract is currently written. He's going to be there. Whether it's another restructure extension or something else, something's got to give. So indeed, if you look at some of the stuff, and we're going to, and this, like we're saying, this is Jason Canfora who's dropping some science about this, and whether you believe it or not, that's a whole nother thing. Now, let's go to the over the cap money situation, and currently have the Saints just over almost $11 million, just almost $11 million, 10.9 to be precise, but almost $11 million in the red currently. So the Saints still have some restructurings they can do. There's still Ramczyk, Kamara, Demario, Taysom. There's still stuff that could be done in restructures that they can get to, and based on some graphs and tables, some people online, some cap economics is saying the Saints could basically get anywhere between $18 to $25 million in the black. So we don't know exactly if that's accurate enough, but that's pretty interesting. Now let's go to this. Let's kind of flash over to John Sigler's Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it. This is interesting because he said he didn't source this in this article, but he did say it on Twitter, which I found that very interesting. Somebody sent me this, and it basically breaks down as he giving some background information about Jason Canfora and his thought processes or his information over the Saints over a period of years. So, so what he's doing is he's bringing into light whether Jason Lockenfora's data could be accurate or it can be taken seriously. Let's just say that much. And this is what he did. He says Lockenfora is reporting the Saints are looking to trade Demario Davis, but he has a bad track record. And here's the receipts. He says the Saints would be heavily penalized for Vicodin scandal in 2010. That didn't happen. In 2015, Saints trading Keenan Lewis. Y'all know what time that was. 2016, Saints Sean Payton can be traded for a 4th round pick, right? 2016. He also says Texas Longhorns recruiting Payton out of the NFL. How about that one? Indianapolis Colts are trying to trade for Payton. Gail Benson selling Pelicans to pay taxes to owning the Saints. That was and the Saints are trading for Patrick Peterson. None of that should happen, man. So what he's basically doing is, he's providing the receipts on whether or not this guy Lockenfora data or his reports could be taken seriously. So, after going over that and researching that and hearing from that, I'm thinking in my head, this might be another messed up one, So that was pretty good for him to go literally give you all the receipts on Lockenfora's comments on the New Orleans Saints. Could that be one similar to Gail is selling the Pelicans to pay the taxes on the Saints? Yeah, that all of those was bad. All of those was terrible. Those were very terrible. I don't know if he got anything else that he came up with that was close to that, but that was actually pretty damn good. Thank you, Pam. Appreciate you for being a member for almost 20 months, baby. Appreciate you. Shout out to you. Big ups to the fam. Yeah, this is now listen, the Demario Davis thing, I'm not giving that anything. When I heard the report and they saying they pushing to trade Demario Davis, that's ridiculous. I don't know where he's getting that from. I don't know who told him that, but I don't believe that. I don't take that seriously at all. Okay, I don't believe none of that garbage about the Demario Davis thing. Now, the Marshon Lattimore thing, that's a little something different. We don't want to see Lattimore going, but at the same time, it's a little bit more to that particular issue. Now, as far as Demario Davis, that's total, like my children would say, cap. Man, that ain't, I don't believe that at all. Because Demario means too much to the Saints. If you trade Demario Davis, who do you put there? And to my knowledge, Demario Davis and the Saints are good. Dennis Allen's is good. And Demario Davis is good with Dennis Allen and the rest of these people. So I see Demario Davis as a person that retires like a Cam Jordan and a Tyrann Mathieu with their team. That's what I believe. So yeah, but that's the thing. It's a role where you get Demario locked in, and these restructures are nothing new. They do this every year. The Saints are always majorly into the red because they're responsible. And many people believe the cap doesn't really exist for you to be able to do this. And I'm saying at some point in time, they're going to create new rules to make it difficult for this type of stuff to happen. They're going to definitely change it. Only reason why I'm thinking they didn't change it yet is because the Saints ain't winning nothing. They're the ones that kind of champion this whole salary cap manipulation thing with phantom deals and contracts and all this kind of stuff. That's why they're so viciously irresponsible when it comes down to the cap. A couple of years ago, they were like $100 million over the cap, and then they whittled it down to like 20+ million over time, and then kick more into the future. This is what they do. When they get all of this money together every year, it's always rewriting of contracts and kicking of the can and further into the year while telling you we're going to work it back to the black sooner or later and get more centered and be responsible with the cap, and it never happens. Because when they start failing, and they start losing, they get desperate and be in damn the future. We got to win now because they're not going to tolerate any more losing. They're not going to tolerate. We pacify them up to a point, but we got to give them something or all hell is going to break loose. And I think it's breaking. Let me tell you something. That rope is getting ready to snap. But yes, indeed. All right. Shout out to Brian and the rest of the fam. Appreciate y'all being in here. Who that dude? Maul and Maul, my brother Maul and Maul in this thing. Elites in this thing. Good to see y'all, man. Brother Trey, as always, much love. All right, and as Mocha says, there's no one in the draft, one on the team or in free agency that can replace Demario Davis. Makes no sense. I don't think this is something that's real. I think this article is based on Jason Lockenfora saying that he's getting inside information that's saying that the Saints are pushing to trade Lattimore and Demario Davis. I think the Demario Davis thing is cap. I think the Lattimore thing shouldn't be a situation where he should be looking to get traded. But, there's a little something more with Lattimore than there is. I don't think anything's happened with Demario Davis. All right. What's up, Colorado? Shout out to you. Good to see you. Molly Mall says, why can't Loomis pick up the cans instead of kicking it? Because he don't know nothing else to do. That's all he ever did. And it worked. It got him this far. So why stop doing it? If it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? And that's what he does. They say it's bull, but they never do it, man. It works for them to keep kicking a can. So they've been pacifying the Who Dats for the last 3 years. A lot of Who Dats still are putting up with the Saints losing for 3 straight years, where they continue to, get even more stricter with the Saints in terms of their money and economics with the Saints to show them, because it's different if if you're listening and you're doing this, but the way they're acting is now we don't need to do that with you. We're gonna have to stall you out on that one until you respect, like an old saying used to say, they ain't respecting your mind. We got to stall you out till you respect my mind. That's how that works. All right, what's up, KK? All right, yeah, this is all right. OG, what's happening, fam? Appreciate you. But like I said, man, this is something that's I believe that is cap. Lock and Forrest said this, and Sigler put out his receipts on them, and I think it's a bunch of bunk, to be honest with you. But the Lattimore thing, there's something else to that. Hopefully, they don't trade him, but I've been hearing stuff about that. All right, so let's move on, man. Y'all got any questions on that? Throw it in the chat. Let's move on to the next item of news. I'm not going to try to hold you guys long today. Saints awarded 3 compensatory picks in the 5th round of the 2024 drafts. Picks 167, 169, and 174. The Saints were awarded these 3 5th-round compensatory picks in 2024. The NFL draft, the league announced Friday that the picks are 167, 169, 174. And the Saints were one of 14 teams to achieve receive the additional picks. 32 extra selections were awarded, and picks are awarded when clubs suffer a net loss of compensatory free agents during the prior free agency signing period. Now, the Saints currently holds the 14th pick in the 1st round of the draft and the following picks, which is 1 pick in the 2nd round that they got via Denver on the Sean Payton trade, pick 45. And then no 3rd, no 4th, and then they have 4 5th round picks. 149, 167, 169, and 174. 1 6th round pick, 192. A 6th round pick, 201 via Philadelphia, and then 1 7th round pick, 230 via Denver. So that's the picks right there. So the Saints got a 1st, a 2nd, no 3rd, no 4th, and 4 5s. So you best believe the Saints probably going to do a little something, package some picks and maybe move up in the 4th round or something like that to see if they can move around and get some help there. But basically, these are the picks the Saints have to work with in the upcoming draft. So, yeah, there we go. Saints get the compensatory picks. We're getting closer, man. We're getting close to that draft. All right, moving on to the next article. The Saints use the exclusive rights free agent tag for Rashid Shaheed. Now, he was tagged by the Saints early this week under the exclusive rights free agent tender. So Rashid Shaheed officially will be in the Saints uniform for 24. He was tendered by the Saints early this week. A source says that the tag was a 1-year deal for $985,000. 1-year deal. Shout out to the Saints News Network. Shaheed's status as an exclusive rights free agent certainly confused some, but it was a lot more straightforward, as the ERFA, the player is not under contract and has not reached 3 years of experience. So if the team makes said player an offer at the 3-year veteran minimum active salary applicable to the player, then they'll have to take it or leave it. And that's an option, take it or leave it. There's no negotiation with other teams unless the original team does not make a tendered offer prior to the deadline. So remember, Jawan Johnson was a restricted rights free agent in 21, and then he was set to become restricted free agent following the 22 campaign. Rather than tender him, the Saints actually signed him to a 2-year contract worth $12 million. Similar path could be for Rashid Shaheed, and he can get a bigger bump of money because he's going to be something special for the Saints offense well into the future. Now, last season he was voted into the Pro Bowl Was a first-team All-Pro for his return duties. However, he put up strong receiving numbers. He finished with 719 yards off of 46 catches with 5 touchdowns. It could be viewed as a bigger part of the Saints offense with Clint Kubiak coming here. So he's a speed component, plays all over the field, has top-notch speed, can take the top off the defense when a quarterback has the sense to throw it out there. So, I mean, this is pretty good news, is keeping around a guy like Rashid, Shaheed. So big ups to the Saints for being sensible on that. And speaking of another wide receiver, the Saints will not tender wide receiver Lynn Bowden Jr. ahead of the free agency. So this is something here that Brother Ross kind of wrote on. The receiver room is going to look a lot different for the Saints in 24, at least presumably so. Veteran long-time receiver Michael Thomas and the team are headed toward what has been a tumultuous split, and several other wideouts is also headed to free agency. But Jeremy Fowler, the Saints, said that the Saints will not pick up the restricted free agent tender from Lynn Bowden, who joined the team in the offseason. So although the Saints did not pick up any valuable tenders on Bowden's deal, the door could still be open for him to return. This is true. The Saints, like many teams around the NFL right now, could be interested in a return for the veteran wideout, but not at the prices of the contract tender. So Bowden did join the Saints on a vet minimum last year, served different roles, the return game, and that's something that he did well. He also wide receiver duties, all kind of stuff. 11 catches for 83 yards, 5 rushes for 32 yards. Didn't have a touchdown. It's likely to want a similar deal in the open market, and the prices to tender restricted free agents are considerably higher. So you got the almost $3 million for the first right of refusal, the second round tender of 4.8, and the first round tender of 6.82 mil. The Saints say, oh no, we don't view him from a contract standpoint that much money. So they opted to do the opposite. So the Saints they're saying they list Bowden as an exclusive rights free agent as opposed to restricted, and the difference between the two are come down to accrued seasons. The exclusive rights is for a player who has 2 or fewer years, while restricted free agents have 3. Now, accrued years are gained by being on a team's roster, active or inactive for 6 or more games in a single season. Players on injury reserve and physically unable to perform lists also get the same credit. So the Saints are not picking up the 2 pricey tenders. There's still a path for the Big Easy to get Bowden back at a cheaper deal. Now, it's just 3 receivers are currently on the roster, which is Chris Olave, Rashid Shaheed, and second-year pass catcher A.T. Perry. So new system could bring a lot of positive things for the black and gold. So Lynn Bowden could return on a cheaper deal if that is also in the card. So anyway, and also just to let you know, just to kind of go a deal like we talked about, Jason La Canfora saying the Saints are pushing to find a trade partner for Lattimore and Demario Davis. According to NFL Network's Palacero, we talked about Tyrann Mathieu particulars for his deal was a 2-year extension, $13.75 million with 3 voided years on the back. So you got phantom years tacked on the back of his contract, which are 9 playable years through 26 to 28 or 2026 to 2028 to lower his cap hit of over $12 million to just about $5.5 million. So the Saints still playing kick the can games with these contracts. Palacero adds Mathieu will receive a $5 million signing bonus and a $1.5 million salary in 2024. In 25, his deal goes $1 million guaranteed with a roster bonus of $16.25 million. So those the particulars on Tyrann Mathieu's contract. And of course, he also said the Saints are scheduled to host Northern Iowa defensive tackle Christian Boyd for a pre-draft visit. Big old interior defensive lineman there. We'll be interested to see how that also plays out. And now to move on to the over the cap numbers. As you can see, currently the Saints, where they are positioned at, they whittled it all the way down to $10.9 million, just over $10.9 million in the red. So they are within a stone's throw to get into the black and then continue to move forward into the black and get as much money as they could to sign potential free agents, also to sign the draft picks and have a money cushion going into the year. So all the way from one of the highest to 10.9 million in the red, over in the red right now. So there it is. All right. So big ups to the fam. All right. All right. So that's some of the news notes right there for the family members to chime in on, man. And as you can see, some things we think, and listen, a lot of people just don't like the current direction of the Saints. The Demario Davis news, I think that's, I'm not trying to disparage what Jason Canfora is saying, but I haven't heard anybody said anything. And if information like that is coming, I'm pretty sure some of our more trusted Saints insiders would have had that information. They would have had put that on Front Street before anything. If that was actually the case, that would have been on Front Street with our most trusted insiders. But a guy like Canfora, who doesn't really cover the Saints like that, and he gets this incredible story about the Saints are actively pushing to trade Demario Davis and Marshon Lattimore. You got to take that with a bucket of salt. Let me tell you something. Not with a grain, a damn bucket. All right, so anyway, all right, let me kind of chime in with some of the family members in the chat before we get ready. If y'all get out, I got about another 34 minutes or something to kind of get at y'all. Y'all do me a service and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and feel free to share the stream. Y'all got any questions, throw it in the chat for me, man. Much love to the fam. All right, salute Soul Fingers. How you doing, fam? Appreciate you for being here. Much love. Appreciate you. All right, yeah, it's Brother Duke. What's happening, bro? Good to see you in the chat. Debbie, much love. Appreciate Debbie. All right, yeah, Black Majors. This is crazy, man. Yeah. Marley Mall says, Q, you know the Saints not keeping all those fifth round picks. Oh no, they're gonna package those picks, man, and try to jump up in the draft, no doubt about it, man. Absolutely, I agree. Black Preacher Man, how you doing, sir? Says, salute Big Q. What's your honest opinion on what Loomis is doing, threatening all the Black Star players? Ryan Ramczyk or Ramczyk and others like Hill with big contracts get no noise. Well, I mean, a lot of people have been talk. Well, I mean, not too many people. I mean, I've been talking about Ryan Ramczyk's play for some time now. Y'all know that. For more than a couple of years now, I've been spotlighting Ramczyk and the fact that he's making way too much money to be playing as poorly as he is. B, that he's playing out of position, that he's making that kind of money, which he should be a left tackle. And, you know, just overall, C, taking money back because of his play. I mean, that's only fair. I mean, he got the big contract because of what he did in the initial 4 years. But since he's gotten paid and no fault to his own, he got hurt. And it's just not worth it. Like, we even covered this on the previous stream about the reason why Ramczyk is a right tackle and not a left tackle is because they know that if they move him on the left side, he's more than likely going to get exposed because the knee issue was a lot worse than what we anticipated. We thinking like Ram just is a big guy that he's just dealing with knee issues. No, now we know because they were kind of suppressing that data that his injury is a lot worse than we anticipated. Now, he did get the minor surgery, and they said that he's supposed to be ready for training camp. But we know enough of it now to know that minor surgery is not going to cut it. He's still going to have major issues with that knee. To me, this doesn't make any sense. Ryan Ramczyk should go and get the surgery and sit out for a year or whatever it takes for him to get healthy. I know that won't win him no points playing on the field, but if he continues to play, and it won't be easy because the type of offense that the Saints are trying to put in, that Clint Kubiak's bringing, is require these guys to move a lot. And I'm not, you know what I'm saying, they have to pull left, pull right. There's a lot of motion and movement that's going to be going on in this new offense. And do you really think Ramczyk's, knee could hold up to that? It didn't hold up to the stuff that he was doing last year. You know, so I don't think this is a smart solution for Ramczyk to do this. And if he's already a multimillionaire, and unless he's having severe money issues, it makes no sense for you to risk your health, and that means walking straight, playing football when you already got the money. Sit out, go take care of yourself, get the surgery, come back, and I'm pretty sure they'll wait for you. They will. You know, so that's my take on the Ramczyk thing. And yeah, I think they definitely need to, and they won't, his contract is, they're going to definitely get the Ramczyk sooner or later. And so is Taysom Hill, because these are guys that are older players. Taysom's more productive, but, you know, at the end of the day, we often talked about the Ryan Ramczyk thing. Made no sense for them to put Trevor Penning there. I told them that. I kept saying that was stupid. They went and done it. Ramczyk busted up. Penning is an I ain't gonna see it an afterthought, but he's buried on the depth chart. You know, his confidence was low. He have to fight back. We got a new staff coming in. Maybe they can refine his game. We got a new offensive line coach. Maybe John Benton can get him back to what he is, get his confidence built up. But do they still keep him or Ram on the right side? It's a lot of stuff that needs to happen here, because the Saints have 3 spots on the offensive line that needs some attention. I really am shaky on Ramczyk's minor surgery when he needed major surgery, because it's not going to, you would pray that it does, but it's still an issue with the knee. It's going to be an issue because when you big guys start getting those knee issues, man, that don't go away. So you're going to have to start looking at having somebody there anyway. And based on how much money the Saints salvage after they finish restructuring contracts, do they really want to go to free agency to replace the blindside tackle, or do they want to draft the guy there? So that's questions that the Saints have to answer. But yeah, this is it's a weird dynamic going on, Black Preacher Man. Thank you for that question. Rock says, "What's poppin'? Q? Who that nation? The division up for grabs this year, indeed." And I know this might make my boy Low and the coaching staff over there happy, but in my vantage point, from what I'm seeing early on, it could Atlanta's positioning themselves as a serious contender in the NFC South. They have the talent there. They just needed to find a quarterback, and look like they zero in on Chicago's Justin Fields, who's from that area. He's from I think Kennesaw. You're not too far from Atlanta, so that would be an interesting dynamic for them to bring him there. And they have the running backs. They have a fantastic skill set, and they still have pieces and money in the draft where they can go and kind of help build up their offense. So they're looking like a strong, depending on what they do with the quarterback position. I love the Raheem Morris signing as a head coach. Love that. He brought the Rams offense there to give them some kick, and Raheem Morris is an excellent defensive guy. So it's a good mix of what they got going on. And, of course, Carolina got a really good coach in Canellis. Look what he did with Baker Mayfield. He was able to take him and terraform him into a quarterback again. I can only imagine what he'll do for Bryce Young, because I still believe Bryce Young has the potential to be something fantastic. And when they put the line around him, they give them a sense of identity, and you just needed a coach to build him up. They got the right guy for that. If you can do that for Baker, if you Canellis, you can do that for Bryce Young. So, yeah, it's up for grabs. Last year was up for grabs. And really the Saints now, as veteran as they are, have a new offensive system coming in. We don't know how that's going to look. And it's a sea change, because we haven't seen a different offense in some time. It's been a long time. We're talking, 19, 20 years since we had an offensive change. That's usually, you know what I'm saying? Some teams, they go through every 3 or 4 years, they're changing offense to this, that. We didn't have that. We didn't have that. For years, we had Coach Payton's system. That wide open Sean Payton West Coast style of offense. Now we have the Gary Kubiak, Shanahan style offense, or whatever this Clint Kubiak's going to bring in here to try to run with all of the movement. It's fun to watch, but we'll see if the Saints can kind of manipulate that thing, get it right. All right, so shout out to you. Appreciate you, bro. All right, Clarence says they're not getting trade. Why people keep saying that? Indeed. Well, Marshon Lattimore is a guy where we'll see what's going on, because there's something going on with the Marshon Lattimore thing, man. There's something going on. That word on the street, something going on. Now, they could, like I said, it doesn't make any sense. The Demario Davis thing that Canfora is putting out there is bull. I don't believe that. There is something behind the Lattimore thing. So they should keep both of these guys and continue to build around these guys. So it's common sense, Clarence, on that, But a lot of this is cap as well. So, we got to cover some of it anyway. All right, shout out to Inevitable and the rest of the fams. Kai says, I know it's not likely, but we'll take it from Saints to trade for both. Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen, bro. We're not going to get Bosa, man. We kind of locked in with who we got, but it would be cool, though. Trey says, Q, do you think we have a chance to draft a quarterback from Washington? Michael Penix Jr., you're speaking of. The Saints have what? First round pick won't happen. They do have they got a second round. I want to say, they got a second round pick. No, yeah, 45 pick they got from them. No third, no fourth, which is where they anticipate Penix going somewhere late in the second to early in the fourth round. That's what's like at least 2 of the big wigs that do the thinking for some of this stuff are talking about, that Penix is in that realm between the late second round into the top of the fourth. So I do like Michael Penix Jr. Now, he has a long injury history in college, but you can't deny his talent. For a guy that has a history like that, he's a fighter. He came back, got himself right, and handled the business. Played Bo Nix, did a lot of positive stuff for Washington, and I like him a lot. But like I said, They have Carr, they have Hayner, but the new offensive staff says, yeah, Hayner's all right, but I want my own guy. Like I said, the way the Saints operate, I don't know if they'll go after Penix. I mean, he would probably have to be a guy that's I got to be sitting there, and I don't know, how much stroke does the new offensive coordinator has. I know he got some power on that side, but if they say, listen, we want this guy, would they give it to him? And if the guy happens to be a quarterback, that'll be wonderful. Michael Penix Jr. or Jordan Travis from Florida State, who they said should be ready for April. I watched some information on him, say he should be ready in April. So that'll be super cool to see him, the Florida State quarterback, get that. He's another guy that people need to keep their eye on, because if he was healthy, that guy would be one of the top 5 quarterbacks that you're talking about in this draft. So if he'll be ready after getting hurt during college around April, you want to pay attention to him as well. So yeah, I like both of those guys, to be honest with you. All right, what's up, Revolt? How you doing, sir? Appreciate you. Thank you, Black Preacher Man, for the super chat. Says why nothing on Hill and Ramchek contract? They have large numbers. I think that's eventually coming down the line, bro. I think that's how eventually, when they start touching them or doing their contracts, working with their contracts, I think that ultimately provide a big source of relief for the cap. Thank you, brother. Appreciate you.
Hey, bro, come on now.
All right, I screwed that one up, bro, but you got that. I hit the button. I hit the button in the wall. All right, thank you, brother. Appreciate you. I got kind of messed up on that, man. I ain't hit the button in a minute. Appreciate it, man. All right, Gundam, what's happening, sis? Who got traded? Nobody got traded, my friend. Did we trade? No. Jay, no, you're not, bro. Listen, no, you're not going to get Jaden Daniels, bro. I don't think, and the Patriots traded Mac Jones this morning, so you're not going to get Jaden Daniels. They making it a point. Coach Mayo up there is going for Jaden Daniels. Don't believe the hype on this May character from North Carolina. Williams is going to Chi-Town. New England wants Jaden Daniels. They traded Mac Jones to the Jaguars today. He's out of there. They're looking at Jaden Daniels. So even if the Saints had the ability to move, I don't see even move up there. I don't think they'd get that high. They would have to sacrifice a lot to get up that high. So I would have to say no to Jaden Daniels. The good thing is, when if they draft them, we will only get to see him like one time every 3 to 4 years. So that's a positive, as opposed to Low telling me, yeah, man, we want Jaden Daniels. Oh no, you don't. Oh no, you're not. You're not. Oh no, you don't. Oh yeah, never say they want. And I heard a report that they leaning more to Fields than Cousins, but either one of those guys would be good for him, though, to be honest with you. But the quarterback from Justin Fields from Chicago probably would fit because he's from the area. So, we'll see. We'll see how it all goes. But either one of those guys is a major upgrade over what they had last year and what they've been dealing with over the last couple of years. Yes. All right. Black Major says, I really hope Carr catches on to the new system quickly. You and I both. Gundam says nobody's addressing it but Dennis Allen. Better backfield, linebacker. We need speedy, nasty, aggressive linebackers indeed. I am in agreement with you. Inevitable says me too. An old man coming off an Achilles injury that we've played plenty of times. All right, thank you. Molly says we do need fast linebackers because Dennis Allen cannot stop the mobile QBs. Thank you. Derek, how you doing? Says trade Lattimore because he's tired of losing and questioning DA's leadership. So get rid of him, he says. And then HY, our D is not that good to get rid of great players. Indeed, bro. I don't think any one of the guys should be traded, but there is information or feelings on a word on the street about Lattimore losing faith in Dennis Allen in the direction of the Saints. We knew that during the season when there was obvious a split. They were trying to deny it. Things like the under the bus, throwing this team under the bus at the end of the year, that didn't sit well with players on the team, and it shouldn't. That's questionable and off-code behavior that never was corrected. But if the player would have did it, like if they questioned and went off on, like a lot of people throw a lot of disparaging comments on Michael Thomas, when Michael Thomas has a history of doing this, he always tweets. He don't go to the guy and punch him in his face. He just gets on there and he starts tweeting up a storm. You know, he did it several times throughout his career. He's very consistent with that. So that doesn't surprise me that a Michael Thomas would be on social media expressing himself. It's harmless. But but they would disparage or send out disparaging comments about Michael Thomas, but when Dennis Allen throws his team under the bus, they make excuses for Dennis Allen doing it. Those who fall to one side more than the other. But if the player does it, oh well, the world be damned if the player do it. But that's what I'm saying. It's a double standard. But we can't play the double standard game. We're not doing that. We're gonna put everybody on the same damn line, and we're gonna make them follow by the same rules. That's the way you win. There cannot be off-code behavior from players or coaches or owners. They all must be held to the same standard. So I mean, this is truth, man. This is how this goes. All right, Scout with the clout. What's happening, fam? Says literally late looks like a possible fit on day 3. I'm not sure. We pick a QB plus Jake Hayner looked good in the Senior Bowl in preseason. Indeed, it's a lot on Jake Hayner. Like when you draft the quarterback, a lot of times teams don't want to keep drafting quarterbacks, you know what I'm saying, unless they lost faith in the quarterback or perhaps somebody coming in. If there's some changing going on in the offensive system and the person who was responsible for the thought process that brought in Hayner is gone, and that's the case, the new guy coming in might not see Hayner the same. They might want to bring their own people in because remember, it has to be your choice. Like if you a guy, I'm going to bring in my own guy that I'm comfortable with. So if it fails, let it fail at my own hand and not because I was trying to fix somebody else's error or do something with somebody else's people. You get what I'm saying? That's the thing about changing offensive people. That's what happened. This kind of stuff happens, and it happens all the time. So anyway, with that being said, let's keep it moving, man, to this. And that's some of the things that we talked about as well. So inevitable saying Atlanta going Raheem Morris over Belichick is such a Falcon thing to do. I wouldn't kind of poo-poo that thing, man. I know Belichick is who he is, but that wasn't a bad pickup for them. Marley Mall says, Q, we need 4 more hours. I don't think I could get it in 4th out today, bro. Rock says, if Atlanta gets Cousins, we're in trouble. Well, I'll tell you one thing, man. It's just one of the situations where they didn't need a lot, man. They didn't need a lot. All right, Scout also says, call me crazy, but I might trade Kamara and Hurst. Love AK, but hard to pay a top dollar to an older running back that we haven't used correctly in 3 years. The contract on that, and you are saying some stuff here because a lot of people say, trade Alvin Kamara. What is he talking about? But then you got to look at the contract. You got to look at the contract and see exactly what's going on. Is Alvin Kamara, who's 29 currently. I got it on the screen because that's what we're going to do. And then you look at the contract coming into 2024, 25, 26, when then 26 through 28 are voided years on his deals. But you look at the playable years, which is 2 years remaining this year and next year, it's currently at 10.2 according to Sport Track, with the prorated of $7 million, regular at $1 million even. And then, of course, next year in 2025, it leaps to $22.4 million. At that point, Elvin will be 30 years of age with a $22.4 million base salary. And of course, the Saints are not going to keep it at that rate. They're going to ultimately change it. But like I said, man, it's things the Saints play really weird games with the cap to the point where we thinking like, in a couple of years from now, Elvin will be in his 30s. So that'll be interesting to see how they indeed deal with that. We'll see. Duke says either of those QBs will be great addition to the Saints. Okay, yeah, thank you, bro. Shout out to you. All right, but yeah, this is crazy. All right, Gunnam says Saints are dinosaurs when it comes to the vision of the prototypical QBs of the future. Why, Big Q, are they we always behind in preparations for the future? Because we have a dinosaur that's running things. We have a guy, listen, and I don't want to, send out disparaging comments about Mickey Loomis, but listen, I'm just sick and tired of his non-leadership. And he calls these things that they're doing is some type of vision forward, and it's not. Waiting on Drew Brees, who was 39, almost 40 at the time, to sign a contract extension when it's totally stupid. That was dumb. That was awful. That was terrible. That was dumb for him to sit there and wait for a 39-year-old man who now, we knew Drew Brees at 39 did not have it. If he would have cut bait off of him at the time, Tom Brady was another older quarterback, but he had a lot more going for himself than Drew did. So ultimately, when he did what he did, that was the plan. Well, we gave Drew Brees such no. You think Drew Brees, you done paid him, made him a lot of money, make him a goddamn statue a couple of years down the line and just move the hell on. That's not what we did. We waited for Drew Brees to decide on what he was gonna do. And then it was just stupid, man. That's not a plan. And I often keep saying this about Mickey Loomis, is that Mickey Loomis is not a general manager. I keep telling you people that. I keep telling the people out there, not to my Who Dat Nation and the Great Saint Think Tank family, but I keep saying the damn thing over and over again about this guy is that Mickey Loomis is not a general manager. He's a VP. He's not a general manager. He doesn't do the only reason why, like, how you explain the success that he had, because Sean Payton was telling him what to do. Sean Payton was directing all of that stuff, just like he was directing the goddamn offense. That's why Pete Carmichael get up there and can't do nothing. Stand there and his offense is ballless. It's detached. It's garbage. He can't hold anybody to any standard. He doesn't have any discipline. He doesn't have any attention to detail. He doesn't hold anybody accountable. Sean Payton's attitude is similar to a John Gruden. Those guys are they have an alpha mentality. You're not going to tell them anything. If they're the head coach, this is my team, I'm going to run it how I want to run it, and they know what to do in many regards. They're not perfect, but in the end, they're going to make sure you do what you're supposed to do, or you're not going to have that goddamn job. I tell you that much. And that's what it came down to. That's not Pete Carmichael. Carmichael was milquetoast. He was a B-rated personality, and it just didn't work. Mickey Loomis was the one that I give Mickey credit for going to get the contracts and getting the players that Sean Payton needed to succeed. But when you pull Coach Payton out of this whole stuff, you've seen this past season and the year before that, how it looked. And it didn't look good. It didn't look good because that type of energy is what you need to drive the offense. You got to get, like even Cam said it years ago, that they walked around on pins and needles when Coach Payton was there, because Coach Payton ran a tight ship. He really did. And you was going to do what you were supposed to do, or you was going to be catching some hell for that. So it is what it is. But in terms of Mickey Loomis, man, Mickey Loomis is he's more VP than general manager. And there's nobody checking for him to make sure he's doing his job correctly. Nobody's doing. The dude above him, Lucia, he's not keeping an eye on Mickey Loomis. He's not doing any evaluations on Mickey Loomis. And Gail is not doing any goddamn evaluations on Lucia. I've said that Gail Benson should have an independent advisor who knows football, that is not a part of the Saints culture, that is giving her the real game about what's going on with the team. She don't need to be hooked, line, and sinkered into these people, because her husband, God rest his soul, said these are good guys. You're going to have to develop your own sense of identity. You're going to have an advisor that you trust, that knows football and people, to be there to do that sort of thing. And that's what I'm talking about. So yeah, it's the Saints' plans for the future are dinosaur in nature, because they don't even operate at the highest levels like an NFL team. You know how hard it is to win in the NFL and to keep a job. Dennis Allen couldn't do this with no other team. He'd have been fired after his second year. I'm just keeping her. He would have been out of here. There was nobody checking for Dennis Allen as a head coach anyway. He got into the little good old boy circle, and Sean Payton said, hey, that's your coach. And then they put on a mock ceremony to try to find the head coaches, sit down there and talk to that man for 8 hours, Eric Bieniemy, let him leave. 8-hour meeting to offer him he thought he was interviewing for a head coaching job. They're talking about, you got the offensive coordinator position open. Nah, man, I thought this was about head coach. 8 hours. And then they go back to Dennis Allen, who we knew they was going to do the whole time. So like I said, the team operate with a vision. It's ignorant. It's basically like a Kool-Aid cult. It's like a Kool-Aid cult the Saints got running on at the top of the team. There is no diverse opinions about what's going on there. Like, it should never be a narrative where a guy like Marshon Lattimore should be going anywhere. And why is that happening? That's not because of them. That's because of the leadership of the team. They picked a guy that's not a leader. And then he's trying to pretend like the guy is a leader. And see, when we see it, it's so clear, it pisses us off, because you get arrogant, start speaking down to the people like they don't know what they're going to see. No, they know that guy's not a leader. No leader worth his salt would backstab his team and tell the entire world that they ran a play that they wasn't supposed to run. That's against his own stupid back ass code. that we supposed to handle all of this in-house. Why did he run up to the podium and tell them that and apologize to the Falcons? He should have kept all that in-house and said, well, that was on me. I did it, man. It's all good. It was for Jamal Williams, and let that be an in-house secret. That would have owned him some brownie points, not run your ass up to the podium and confess on your team and apologize to the Falcons. You're not going to win people that way. And then after that, you know what your dumb general manager do? He makes excuses for him and says, well, you're overblowing it. I'm overblowing it. No, that's off code, bro. That's why you're losing. It takes all of them, the majority of the team, to win, man, in the NFL. It's tough to win in the league, man. But he would never have survived anywhere else, except in a culture of this type of culture that the Saints are festering here. This backstabby, garbage up and down bull culture that they got going on with this guy running around here, comparing him to Bill Belichick and Bill Walsh and all these people. It's totally ridiculous, man. It's a joke. He's not a real general manager. And for Dennis Lucia, who should be listening to this, you need to go in there. You need to evaluate that dude, make him do his job, or give it to somebody else. Better yet, give it to somebody else. 20 years of him doing that is enough. Give it to a young general manager like Kai, who has the feel for today's NFL. We don't need no more dinosaurs, bro. He done paid his part. He done did what he was supposed to do. Thank you, but no thank you. Move the job on to a younger person. Don't let him sit up there and say, well, I think I can do this for another 10 years. Oh, I'll go when I'm ready. No, that's no. That shouldn't even be something he's allowed to say. He should be, I ain't going whenever I want to go. No, you going to go right now because you ain't doing nothing. So, I mean, in the end, it's a joke, man. And I continuously point this out to people. I'm like, this dude get fleeced by other people because he's not a general manager. He's not. General managers do things. They do in-season evaluations. They don't not do evaluations during the season because they're too emotional. Who says that? What is the guy? What is he, 8 years old and in kindergarten? You don't have control of your emotions to do your job? This is this stuff that he said. I'm like, what? That's why they're losing in many regards, because he don't do nothing to the season over with, and that's not what a general manager does. He does work during the season, does evaluations every day, if not possible every week, constantly watching the strengths of his team, seeing if we got disgruntled players that he could talk to make happy, any beefs in the buildings to take care of, you schmooze all that out. That's what general managers, they manage something. And they don't manage it in the off season. They manage it in the end season as well. So that's why I said this guy's out of touch, and he needs to just keep the VP job and give the general manager job to somebody else. Get your ass out the way. That's what I'm saying. All right. So anyway, I've been saying that for a while, man. Y'all know I have. I've been yelling at and saying that this dude ain't no real general manager, and it's become abundantly clear now. It's abundantly, nobody would take up for Dennis Allen. I know you picked him, but at the same time, dude, you got to be on him and saying, hey, listen, bro, you can't do that, man. You can't throw your team under the bus. You can't do that, man. Now I got to go over here. You're going to have to go and apologize to them for doing them that. You're going to have to go apologize. That idiot doesn't apologize any other time except for when the Falcons apologized to all of the dumb losing that he did. All the terrible losing games, never apologized, not one time, but he did apologize one time when it was for the Falcons and what the Saints did to him. That's amazing to me. Isn't that ironic? Never all the horrible losses, but he never apologized, not one time for those. But when it came down for him to make an apology, he issued it to the Falcons against his own team. That show you this dude is off code. It's amazing. All right, anyway, let's keep it pushing, man. Big Sean, what's happening, brother? Says Kubiak will be here 1 year, and he said, he'll do so well, he'll get the head coaching job, or will do so bad that everyone gets fired. I don't know if he gets the head coaching job, because if he wins, Dennis Allen will get an extension. So I don't see how he's going to get that job unless Dennis Allen steps down, bro. And they say, you know what, we're going to leapfrog him. Mickey Loomis doesn't even think like that. If Kubiak wins, that means they'll give an extension to Dennis Allen. That'll validate him and say, see, I told you guys. I told your ass. That is Dennis Allen is the guy. I told you. You didn't listen. I told you. No, you guys are not qualified to talk about football. I'm gonna tell you. Yeah, I'm right. That's what will happen. So he'll run to the podium and talk about how he made the right choice. So I mean, if he does well, you won't get rid of Dennis Allen, man. That'll be validation for a guy like Mickey Loomis. All right, family. Does anyone know the dates for the 2024 draft? I think it's in late April, bro. Hold on, let me put it up on the screen right here. The draft dates, if nobody already answered it. I think it's late. Always seems like it kind of moves around. You know what I'm saying, family? You know what I'm saying? Almost it seems like the draft dates kind of move around on you. Let's see. I want to say it's for late April. That's usually when they have. Yeah, April the 25th. It starts April the 25th through April the 27th, bro. So I hope that helped you out right there. All right. So anyway, all right. All right, let's keep it going. Scout says Kubiak should help our run game. Kendra Miller about to take off. That's good, man. I want, Jamal Williams needs to take off too, bro. We need to get the running attack going. Rose says if Kendra stays healthy and take off, last year, you got a good running back room, period. You just need a guy with some accountability and some imagination and some seriousness to get the Saints going. They got all the weapons you need. I mean, you can accentuate it. We talk about guys like Chris Olave and Rashid Shaheed, Juwan Johnson, Taysom Hill, Alvin Kamara, Kendra Miller, Jamal Williams. Who else we got? Foster Monroe. The Saints are littered and loaded with different type of personalities, offensively speaking, that any offensive coordinator be so happy to have. He'll be able to add other people to the list as well, build up the offensive line and create a philosophy to run them. And they're not a bare cupboard. They actually have a lot of serious and good players that can help take the Saints far, man. We just need the right mind to do it. Salute to the fam. Appreciate you, Travis. Shout out to you, brother. Good to see you in the chat. Brother Rose says, Q, what do you think about Saints going after Justin Simmons? I like Simmons. That'll be cool, I think, but he gonna want to get paid though. Justin Simmons don't work cheap, bro. I like Justin Simmons. I think it's gonna cost you some money to go and get him, but you getting rid of Marcus May is because of Jordan Howden, our rookie safety. I mean, he ain't a rookie anymore, but our young safety Jordan Howden. That's what made Marcus May expendable. Saints looked at him and said, "Man, this guy always hurt." And Jordan Howden stepped up. He played, and I think they won't see more of him. Now, do we go after Simmons there? I mean, that would definitely help the defense. You just gave Tyrann Mathieu his money. You got Jordan Howden on a cheap rookie deal, and I don't see them going for a top notch like a big money safety. Coming up, seeing more after like keeping Howden there next to Tyrann Mathieu and probably drafting somebody like in the draft to add to what they got going on, and then bring like cheap veterans like they had with Lonnie Johnson Jr. and Jonathan Abrams. That's what kind of stuff I see them doing. I mean, it'll be cool, but I don't know if that'll be the philosophy they go with. Guy said, who's the best pass rusher the Saints should target in the draft? Well, if they do, bro, it's probably going to be somebody late with some duality, because the Saints have spent a lot of resources on getting pass rushers, and they signed 2 defensive linemen last year. I've said this before. The Saints just didn't draft like a 4th and 5th round defensive end. They got guys that have to play. They got guys like Peyton Turner, who's a 1st round pick. You got guys like Isaiah Foskey, who's a 2nd round pick. So they have high picks that have to play this year and have to show what they can do. They just gave Carl Granderson a fat check. They kind of reworked Cam's deal where he's guaranteed. So Cam's not going anywhere for the next couple of years. You got Carl on his other side, and then you have 1 1st round draft pick defensive end and a 2nd round draft pick defensive end that got to play. So, and people was asking me about the Florida State guy or Turner. I was like, I like these guys, but if I don't see the Saints taking these guys, because where would they put them at? Where would they play? Where would they play them at? With all of the stuff I just said there. And the Saints are looking at it like that. They're not looking at it like you and me saying, get as many pass rushers as you can. You got injuries. Man, they're not looking at it like that. They put a lot of money toward the interior line. And of course, don't forget they drafted Brian Bresee as an interior defensive lineman. So whatever lineman or defensive lineman that they're going to end up getting, and more than likely is going to be guys in a reserve capacity, somebody working on the interior. I really do think they still need to get a nose tackle to help out too, like a nose tackle and not some tweener guy. You know what I'm saying? But we'll see, bro. We'll see. But there's quite a few people that I like. I just don't see the Saints adding those guys. like I said, it's a lot of they got a lot of draft capital in the defensive line. They just look at things like that. Gundam says the way we cover for Allen is atrocious. Mickey Loomis gotten too comfortable. Plantation taskmaster mentality, zero accountability. I've said that. I've used the terminology. I've used the comparison of the Saints ran like an old mafia family, an old crooked mafia family. That's what I use, because ain't nobody checking. There's no checking. The only thing they checking is the bank account to see how much money they make. Nobody's checked the top three guys, the top three people, Gail, Dennis, and Mickey. Nobody's checking. Dennis is not checking Mickey Loomis, making sure he's doing his job. He's not doing that. He's not doing that. Because I could tell how Mickey Loomis is moving, that Dennis Lucia is giving him too much room to operate, that he is free to do whatever he wants to do. That's not how it's supposed to be. It's not like he's general manager Newsom that used to work with Baltimore and used to have all these great moves building the team. He was 10 times, 100 times the general manager that Mickey Loomis could ever hope to be. But he didn't even operate that way. There's no accountability above the top three people in that organization. Gail needs an independent advisor. She needs somebody to go and check these guys out to keep them nervous. They too comfortable up there. And I kept saying that, and he started saying it. Oh, well, listen, we got to make stuff uncomfortable. Uncomfortable. I'm talking about you. You're the uncomfortable one. Because if you had that mentality of not being comfortable, then that would flow throughout the organization. Dennis Allen wouldn't feel so comfortable. A lot of the players on the team wouldn't feel so comfortable. So how are you going to make them uncomfortable when you're the one that's starting it? Your non-accountability is with breeding the comfortability factor inside of that building. So, like I said, is nobody checking for each other. Them top three people in that organization only thing they checking is the bank account. That's all they checking. It's too much easy. It's not enough fire going on with those top three people. That needs to be shaken up. So will it happen? We'll see. To keep losing it, we'll see. All right. Yeah, I know. Inevitable. You was talking. Yeah, Turner from Alabama, or what's the kid from Florida State? I forgot his name. Curse from Florida State. Those are two really good ones, man. I like a lot. I just don't see him looking at them. All right, Sean says Kubiak will get the head coach. Oh, elsewhere. Yes, indeed, bro. Absolutely. That's if he fails. But then again, if he fails, and I most certainly listen, I want the Saints to win. I just don't like the coach because it's the wrong dude. I don't like backstabby, weaselly, slick talking, low confident non-leaders over your team. I don't like that, and that's what that guy is. I don't like that. Sooner or later, it's that type of personality. You can't get the most out of the team because they just don't have it. You got to pick people with a certain style, not just style, but a group of character traits that know how to deal with people, know how to get the most out of people. And I'm not just talking about his defense. I'm talking about the whole team. You need an overseer. Dennis Allen's style is to hire somebody to run the offense, and he stays over here and handles the defense. He's not over the offense. You've seen that during the season when the offense was failing and he was making excuses for him. He wasn't talking to Carr saying, listen, bro, if you don't get this straight, I'm going to have to pull you. Put Jameis in there. You think he was doing that? No. So his style is, I'm going to run defense over here, call the plays for the defense. You guys have the offense. And he does that because he feels comfortable with that style. But if that offensive guy fails, he can blame him and fire him like he did Pete Carmichael last year. You see? Can't do that going into the future no more, because if they're continuing to losing, the common denominator is him. And of course, Mickey Loomis. So in the end, he kind of running out of moves right here, fam, to be quite honest with you, man. He running out of moves here. All right. What's up, Tasha? Shout out to you and my boy, Sean. Much love. Clout says, I'm be emailing you a Saints draft board, Q. Good. Yeah, do that, Scout, man. I'll go over it, man. Good, man. Yeah, bro. Send me what you got, man. Usually, I get a lot of great information from my dog KT and GM Kev. They do a really good job of sending me some information. But yeah, Scout, send me what you got. I'll cover it, man. That's great. He said, I think Williams is more signed for the pass block, and he says Detroit numbers were because their offensive line in situations. Kendra Miller actually has an RB1 ceiling. My comp to him is TCU's Joseph Adai. How about that? Yeah. Well, I can see the comparisons, bro. You know, it's how he looked in that last game. He had the wiggle where you seen guys like Jamal Williams couldn't get any light. Kendre Miller was able to make something happen behind that busted offensive line the Saints was running out there. He was making guys miss at the line, and he was able to break a few tackles and gain extra yardage. He was able to do a little bit more. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, he definitely has some great ability. The Saints really pick very well with Kendre Miller. Mont says, Q, should we take a chance on Penix if he drops at the right draft spot? I definitely think so. If he drops somewhere in the 4th round or something like that, I would definitely grab Michael Penix. He's better than Jake Haener. I'm sorry, Michael Penix Jr. is better than Jake Haener. He is. He's a guy he got a lot of talent, man. Like I said, the thing they're downplaying Michael with is because of his injury history. Doesn't shine well, but he's super productive when he's in there. The guy knows how to play football. He dealt with a ton of injuries, and the guy fought back to become trying to get into the draft as an NFL quarterback. He's going to get picked up by somebody between the 2nd and 3rd rounds. That's why I see him going. I don't see him going to the 4th, but you never know. They find something in he does a pro deal. They find some injury or some, situation like that. It tends to make him slide down a bit. But if everything stays the same, he should be going anywhere between the 2nd and the 3rd round. If you're lucky, somewhere early in the 4th round. But I don't think Penix Jr. going to go that far. I think that's where a guy like Michael Pratt from Tulane will end up, like in the 4th round, somewhere in there. But guys like Penix should be going late 2nd into the 3rd. So, I mean, if he's there, hell yeah, you should pick him up. He's better than Jake Haener. But, like I said, once again, we'll see. All right, Scout says Verse would be awesome, but he'll get. Yeah, I said Curse. I meant Verse. Jared Verse. He said, I think you're right that we have a type. Tyler Davis, right? It's nose tackle from Clemson who played next to Brian Bresee. That would be fun, right? Travis says, grab Jamal Adams if he can stay healthy. Grab the offensive tackle from Dallas and the offensive guard from Detroit. How about that? So we build an offensive line there, and then Jamal Adams. And I like Jamal Adams. Yeah, Jamal Adams is good, but he had a lot of injuries that happened. Is he good? I know he has some family stuff or some mental stuff that happened with Jamal Adams since he went to Seattle. He kind of went down a bit, but I got all the love and respect for LSU people. That's my squad. So, Jamal Adams, perhaps Joe Woods can rework with him, but at the right price. And I don't know. Like I said, I think the Saints are keen on Jordan Howden. I think we kind of underselling Jordan Howden and what the Saints are doing. I think they really see him as a starting safety. You can win with losers on top of the team. Peyton built the Super Bowl team. Mickey got lucky when he hired Sean. Yeah, well, I don't know. Can you win with losers on top of the team? Can we win a Super Bowl with Dennis Allen? Y'all put it in the chat. Matter of fact, let me do this. Give me a second here. Let me see if I can do this. Let me put a question in this chat. Hold on here. Let me do this. Give me just a second because I'm going to need some time here to put this in the chat. Give me just a second here. Let me kind of put this in the chat here. Hold on, fam. I'm trying to add me a little question here to the chat. Let me ask the family. That's an interesting statement you made there, 504 Code, my brother. Yes, my brother. Let me see if I can put that question to the chat. Hold on. Let me see here. Put that up there. I'm going to add a question to the chat about that. Can Dennis Allen, hold on here. Let me just put DA up there. I ain't gonna spell his whole damn name. The hell with that. Can DA win a Super Bowl in New Orleans? All right. I'm about to put that. I want to see what y'all got to say for that. Hold on. I don't think I did that right. Hold on. Just a second. Hold on, fam. I didn't even give y'all a chance. All right, hold on. Let me do that again. I screwed that all the hell up. All right. Can dumbass. Okay. Can DA win a Super Bowl and NO? There you go, baby. Yes. All right, hold on. So let me hold on. That's wrong. What's going on here? All right, hold on, fam. I'm sorry. Taking all kind of long. Okay, here we go. I'm sorry. Here we go. Here go the question. It's about to pop up there now. And here we go. I got it in the chat. I want y'all to answer that. I want y'all to answer that question there. Can DA win a Super Bowl in New Orleans? Y'all, all the family members in the building, hit that poll and let me know what y'all think, man, because that's an interesting thing. Bible focus, you can win with losers on top of the team. Peyton built the Super Bowl team, but did Peyton build it with losers? I don't think he built it with losers, because when the team was basically destroyed when he got it. He didn't have a quarterback, he didn't have a running back, he didn't have much of a defense, and really Sean Payton really kind of did this thing. And really, you talked about Mickey got lucky when he hired Peyton. You might, I don't know if to say luck, but fortune does play a part of it, because Tom Benson didn't want, let's just say this, Tom Benson wanted Clint Kubiak's father, which is, his name's Gary Kubiak, to be the head coach, because they were targeting Gary Kubiak, because Kubiak had a resume as a player. He was a backup quarterback for John Elway. He won 2 championships with John Elway as a backup. He won 2 Super Bowls as an offensive coordinator for Denver. So he was a guy that had the hardware on his resume, and Tom Benson, rest his soul, wanted Gary Kubiak as the head coach. I talk about this story all the time because I was there. I just don't like when they romanticize it, like, oh, Sean Payton seen the Saints and he said, I'm going to take the team and hoist them up and put them on a pedestal and we're going to ride them to greatness. No, that's not what happened. That is totally not what happened. He wanted Gary Kubiak, and the reason why he didn't end up with Gary Kubiak is because Kubiak got a big contract from the Texans, and he wanted to come to New Orleans, but he asked Tom Benson to match the contract. And Tom Benson said no, that he wasn't going to match it, and Sean Payton was the runner-up, and he just settled with Sean. That's what happened. He wanted Gary Kubiak as his head coach, and he didn't want to match the contract that the Texans gave him. That's what it came down to. So Gary went to Houston, and Sean Payton, who was the runner-up, got the job. And then Coach Payton came in, and Coach Payton got the draft. He picked up Reggie Bush. He got Drew Brees, who Drew Brees was trying to go to Miami. Drew Brees was trying to go to Miami, and Nick Saban was the head coach and general manager of the Miami Dolphins at the time. In the 1 year that he went pro, of course, he finished 8-8 that year. But what occurred was that he ultimately said, he was trying to get to Miami, and it was a decision that Nick Saban had to make between Drew Brees and Dante Culpepper. And Nick Saban chose Dante Culpepper over Drew Brees, and Drew came here. So in both cases, both of those guys came together. So it's more fortune than anything, because both of those guys, Sean Payton wanted to come to New Orleans. He wanted to, but New Orleans was having its picks and chooses between the two, and that's how it happened. So it came together. So anyway, I don't know. Can you build a team like that, man? I don't know if you can build a team like that, man. Like, you talking about building a team with losers, and I don't know if you can build a team with losers, bro. And I don't think Reggie Bush was a loser. Sean Payton was a loser. Drew Brees was a loser. Scott Fontenot was a loser. I mean, Scott Fajita, who they picked up on. Scott Shanley was another dude that they brought in here to kind of build up the defense. And they did a few things to kind of add and build up the team over time. They drafted well, brought in some free agents, and then went from there. So I don't know. We'll hit the poll momentarily. I just want everybody to get an opportunity to hit that poll and vote on it. Youngblood says trade Marshon would be a big mistake. Indeed, it would be. Brother Derek, how you doing, Brother Derek? How you doing? Says Q, I hope we are over this trying to look smarter than 5th graders. Drafting players that nobody never heard of. And keep it as he said, keep it a simple draft, and draft at skill position, no developmental projects in the first. Thank you, Brother Derek. They always got to hit us with the surprise. They had a decent draft last year. Notable says Lattimore, the best cornerback in Saints history. Eric Allen second, because he was older when we got him. Yeah, I think Eric Allen was on the down slide when we got him from Philadelphia, and I was like, man, yeah, we got him later on, but I have to think about it. But yeah, no doubt about it. Lattimore is the greatest cornerback the Saints ever had. Well, then again, I don't know. What about I may have to look into it, but I know he's up there. He's like either 1 or 2. Scout says maybe their logic is DA scheme is friendly to DBs. Debo Yidam played good outside. Lante is outside guy too. Moving lat might be culture cap decision. Draft a slot cornerback. Retain Yidam. There you go. Yeah, Yidam did. And Joe Woods was good for Isaac Yidam. He stopped him from face guarding. Yidam was able to turn and attack and turn, and all parts of Yidam's game improved last year. He became a total different person. And usually when that happened is half what he put into it and half Joe Woods, who's a good verbalizer of the game, because Joe Woods is called a defensive coordinator. He controls the defensive backs in terms of the cornerbacks. Marcus Robinson, who was the secondary coach, controls the safeties. So the cornerbacks are controlled by Joe Woods. So Joe Woods had a direct influence over Isaac Yidom's game. I was very impressed with Isaac Yidom. His progression from last year and, based on the previous year was like night and day. So he's a free agent. So hopefully the Saints could retain him. But then again, somebody might see his value because he's a good sized cornerback, play really well. They might want to offer him a little bit more money than what he is. And Paulson Adebo rebound well off the sophomore slump year, And like I said, yeah, Alontae Taylor, a lot of guys talk about Alontae Taylor. Remember, they drafted Alontae. He was supposed to have dual purpose. They wanted Alontae to play a little safety. They wanted him to play cornerback, outside, inside, because he was meant to replace Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. That's what the thing about when he was looked at more of a larger, what can I say, cleaner version. Not saying that Chauncey was loud. He talked a lot of mess, and Alontae Taylor wasn't like that. Alontae Taylor is the kind of personality-wise that were different, and that's what the Saints did when they drafted him to come here and play. But he could play outside, inside. He could play a little safety if you give him the opportunity to do that. So there's some duality there in terms of what Alontae Taylor could bring to the Saints. So, we'll see. All right, Duke says, yeah, I agree, Q. Benson needs independent advisor. Loomis and DA, that crap he pulled on Winston, apologized for Falcon, straight loser. And that's the thing. Dennis Allen, I used to talk about this all the time when they were losing a lot of games. Dennis Allen would go up to the podium, and I was like, he needs to apologize for the performance that team put on because they were not prepared. They went out there and stunk. There was never none of that. But only time he does apologize is to apologize to the Falcons for a play that they ran at the end of the year to throw his team under a bus. And I thought that was what kind of code of ethics or morality does this dude operate by? I mean, I don't like this dude. I really don't. I don't like him. I don't like that type of personality. A guy that's backstabby, that does stuff like that. He wouldn't want nobody to do him that, to stab him in the back or throw him under the bus, but he comfortable with doing it to his team. And a good general manager, which you don't have, would have said, listen, you can't do that. Go apologize to them in front of everybody. I don't care what, it don't have to be in front of the world, but go tell them, listen, man, I'm sorry, take them out to dinner, do something. You don't have to tell the world about it, but go and fix that because they're not going to play for you. But that guy don't get that because that ain't that type of guy that you got running the team. Just keeping it a buck. That you can't have that type of dude operating, man, for real. Trey says, Michael tweeted he wanted to be a Saint. Yeah, well, Penix, man, is a dude, man, that I think he should. He's better than Jake Haener. That's all I could tell you, brother. And if the Saints get an opportunity to pick him up later on, they should. This will, stop. You need to at point. I don't know if Jake Haener, I would lean on more of the side that Jake Haener is not the future of the Saints team once your boy Carr gets gone. They're going to need somebody else. They need somebody that's going to excite the base. And if Haener's worth it, let him and Penix fight for it. Or if it's not him, it's Jordan, the kid from Florida State. I'll take either one of those guys. Or Pratt from Tulane, he's a good one. There's a bunch of good guys out there. Yeah, I was thinking about Milton, man. What Milton was due, he had that big arm for Tennessee. A lot of his game is he got a huge arm, bro. He can throw it like he Josh Allen or somebody, but his accuracy needs a little work. But he's a big quarterback. Stand tall in the pocket, got a gun for him. His accuracy wanes a bit. So if you can get him to kind of get more accurate on what he's saying, you might get a diamond with Big Joe Milton out of University of Tennessee. Yeah, Duke say he's better. All right, Scott, Super Bowl. Woo, maybe he can make the playoffs. But the ultimate goal is Super Bowl with Dennis Allen. Can you win a Super Bowl with Dennis Allen? Remember, you got like 2 years to do it. Because in 2 years is the contract with a lot of these players like Demario Davis, Tyrann Mathieu, Cam Jordan. Their contracts are up in 2 years. So that's your window of opportunity. So whatever you got to do, it got to happen within that 2-hour window. That's also consequently the time when you'll know what's going on with Derek Carr. So the Saints reset themselves in about 2 years. So can you get there? That's what we're talking about here. Can the Saints get there in the next 2 years with the current core of players that they have? We talking about Carr, Taysom, Tyron, Cam, Demario, 2 years. Elvin Kamara's on a 2-year deal. So the Saints reset themselves in 2 years. Can they do it? That's all you got. That's all you got. You done wasted away the last 2 years. Really, it was a 4 years. I said 3 years, but it's really, if you stretch it out and what they're doing, you stretching it out to a 3 to 4 year window. And there's 2 years remaining with the window. After that, the team is going to have to reset themselves. So are they ready? Inevitable says, I thought Sean Payton wanted the Green Bay job. He was in running for the Green Bay job, but Sean Payton was the guy. He was more interested in New Orleans than he was in Green Bay. He was. And because the way it went was, and you can go, I don't know if a lot of these articles are still up, but that's who they wanted. The Green Bay Packers wanted Sean Payton. Payton wanted to come to New Orleans. Benson wanted Garrett Kubiak, who wanted to come here, but he wanted them to match the money that the Texans had gave him, because the Texans gave him a contract, and he wanted Tom to match it. If Tom Benson would have matched it, then you would have had Kubiak instead of Sean Payton. But it all worked out the way it was supposed to. All right. Sean says, Big Sean says Sean Payton wanted to go to Green Bay, settle for New Orleans after Green Bay deal fall. That was. I'm telling you. I remember how it happened. I remember Sean Payton wanted to go. He wanted the New Orleans job, and I know. And listen, we're gonna have to go back. I'm gonna have to pull up my receipts for that. Brent said, "What's up?" Brent says, "But dumb DA luck, maybe, but it's what we're relying on." Come on, man. All right. Shout out to you, Brent. Good to hear from you, bro. All right. What's up, OG Jerry? Well, big ups to you, brother. Good to see you in the chat, man. But anyway, let's hit that. What's up, Mondal says Mike McCarthy was Green Bay's choice. They had asked Payton's permission before Haslett was fired. That is true. All right. Yeah, that's true, because McCarthy was Haslett's offensive coordinator. That is correct. And he went up there, and I think he got a Super Bowl out of him. So it was a good choice for Green Bay to get McCarthy. He went up there, won a championship with him. And then you had Sean came. We picked up on Sean, and ultimately won the Super Bowl for the Saints. So in the end, it kind of worked out all around, didn't it, family? All right. So anyway, let's look at the poll, man. I done left it up there long enough. The question is, can Dennis Allen win a Super Bowl in New Orleans? And man, it's a resounding poll. 97% of the pollers said no. Only 3% said yes, he could win it. So 97% of the people that were polled said that this is not going to happen. But yet, like I said, but currently, that's not a surprise, because like I've said, and I continue to say, Dennis Allen doesn't do anything. Oh, well, he doesn't wow the base. Let's just say that, right? He doesn't wow the base. He really doesn't, especially when you're backstabbing your players, and that won't help you win no cool points with me. Let me tell you something. All right. So anyway, all right, man, that's a resounding no from the Who Dat Nation, man. But anyway, fam, listen. Ultimately, the trade rumor circulating around Demario Davis is some cap, in my opinion. The situation with Marshon Lattimore has some smoke to it because of the differences with the team. I think that one's a little bit more value, because that other stuff with Demario is just cap. Jason Lockenfora is the one that dropped that giblet. It didn't come from our really good insiders that cover the Saints commentary. None of that came from them. All of that other stuff came via Jason Lockenfora. Like I said, if it was coming from guys like our guy Underhill or the rest of these guys that cover the Saints, man, I'll be like, man, that's Habs, because he won't give you no BS or no bull. He won't do that. But Lockenfora, who like Sigler put out a tweet showing all of the dumb stuff that he said over the years, that was pretty good. He dropped some receipts, saying, man, listen, I don't think y'all should be listening to this cat about this. But in the end, like I said, I think it's some cap on Demario, and maybe a little something with Lattimore. It shouldn't be with Lattimore, but that's unfortunately what it is. All right. All right, and Scout says, in fairness to D, I don't think our GM really gave him a Super Bowl roster either. He's got top payroll in the NFL, needs 4 positions on the offensive line, long-term QB, pass rush, another wide receiver. Pretty messy. In fairness to Dennis Allen, Scout, that's why we're going to difference in opinion with you. Sean Payton left. When Sean Payton left, this team wasn't a low-covered team. And every year the Saints gave Dennis Allen whatever he wanted. So it wasn't like Mickey Loomis was like, we're going to add this to the team. No. A lot of the movements that's happened over the last 3 years were movements that were put together by Dennis Allen. And most teams go through, every team goes through free agency periods when it loses some of its players to somebody else. The Saints were in good position. It was only 1 game off from a playoff trip when Sean Payton left. They were pretty balanced. The next year, they added more people to the team. Tyrann Mathieu, Jarvis Landry was added, I think that was. And then, stuff like that, but it was added later on. So they added people to the team. And like I've said, and this will continue to be the same sticking point during the Dennis Allen administration, is they add people, they draft people, they add people through free agency. And what ended up happening is they always do a really good job in the off season of getting talent here. The issue with them is they don't translate the talent well from the off season to the end season. And when you have, and that's the common thread that always fails the Saints, because they'll get all this talent and then they'll misuse the talent. And that's what I was saying about it during the season, that they misuse everything. Like the season, all this other stuff that happened, all they needed to do was make tweaks during the season, and the man refused to do it. The coach, if you won't call him that, refused to make the changes offensively speaking. He sat on his ass the whole time while the offensive line stunk. They were up and down. He didn't make any moves. He didn't do anything. And all that played the same damn way over and over again. So if you don't make changes and you see things falling apart and people are pushing on you to make changes, the media is asking you to make changes, and you don't do anything, and then you say we're going to make changes and don't make any changes, and then you lose, don't tell me nothing, bro. Don't tell me nothing. Why didn't you make the changes during the year when the team offensively was struggling? Why didn't you change offensive coordinators or whatnot? Change it up. Let somebody else call it. Why didn't you try a different offensive coach in terms of the offensive line coach to come in there and talk to let him run it for a little bit, see what he can do. Bring somebody else into that advisor to see what they can do there. Why didn't you do any of that? So at the end of the year, you're going to stand up there and tell you he pissed. I don't want to hear it, man. I don't want to hear it. And that's the problem we have with these guys, that they don't make changes and adjustments in the season when changes, adjustments are called for. That's the problem. And they'll pinpoint talent. They'll tell you, well, we need more of this and more of that. But then when you get it and you lose, don't tell me nothing. It's not about about the talent. It's about them misusing these people. They're not using them correctly or making the proper adjustments when you're supposed to adjust. They're not doing that. So, I mean, that's my analysis on it. And I've been saying that for a while, man, just to keep it real. Mont says he was 49 OC when he got Green Bay hired him, but Green Bay wanted him for the Saints in 03-04 as coordinator. Thank you, bro. Travis says greatest Saints cornerback of all time are Davis, Greer, McKenzie, Porter, and Lattimore. I don't even put McKenzie up there. You talking about Mike McKenzie? I put Jabari Greer a lot higher than McKenzie. McKenzie used to get cooked, man. And Tracy Porter, is that it? You don't even have Eric Allen up there, but Lattimore is clearly one of the tops, man. I might have to go back in the Saints lore to kind of add another one. It's somebody we missing from Saints lore from yesteryear that we ain't putting up on this board, who's better than Mike McKenzie. Mike McKenzie he looked like a Saints predator. He used to always get cooked out there. And if he usually make a play on the ball, it's by mistake or something. McKenzie used to get cooked, man. And I mean, listen, I don't have no problems. Mike McKenzie used to infuriate me because he would not turn and locate the ball. It looked like when he would make a deflection, it'd be by accident. It just didn't look. McKenzie to me used to infuriate me, man. He used to get cooked, man. You know what I'm saying? He used to get cooked, man. That's how I remember Mike McKenzie. All right, Sean says, as an organization, we messed up when we didn't run it back with Jameis. Worst case scenario would have been we had a bad season. Top pick, draft JD5. Indeed. Brett Maxey, safety, though. That's a safety. That wasn't a corner. Brent says, speaking truth to power, key on the way. Yes, we have to face it, bro. We gotta face it. Thank you, bro. Mont says Toy Cook and Brett Maxey. Toy was a corner. Brett Maxey was a safety. And Toy Cook used to get cooked all the time, bro. So he was probably one of the worst cornerbacks we had, because he used to get probably, listen, I ain't gonna do it. It's late in the show right now, but two cornerbacks, probably the worst. Well, I ain't gonna say Torrey Cook had his moments, but he was famous for getting burnt. He used to get cooked all the time. That's why he was named Cook, Torrey Cook. He got cooked. But the thing is, I think a guy worse than Torrey Cook was out there for the Saints. And even Jason David might get thrown in there, like you just thrown Jason David's name in there. But Jason David, he was a 5'7" cornerback. But at least he got interceptions. At least Jason David got interceptions. One of the worst Saints cornerbacks in recent memory was Alex Molden. His son playing the league today. Alex Molden was a first-round draft pick, awful cornerback. Totally awful. I remember Alex Molden was, there you go, Kareem. Kareem, that's right. Alex Molden, bro. Alex Molden was one of the worst, because he was a first-round draft pick bust corner. He used to get cooked all the time. If Torrey Cook was cooked, that boy was grilled. That dude was awful, man. Alex Molden was awful, man. Fred Thomas, no, Jason David and Fred Thomas Fred Thomas was pretty bad. But you got to remember too, Fred Thomas he played with a lot of heart, but Fred Thomas, both Jason David and Fred Thomas were undersized cornerbacks, man. They were undersized cornerbacks. They used to get matched up with 6'3", 6'5". I used to hate watching them go against Carolina with Musa Muhammad and all them boys, because them dudes was like 6'3", 6'4", and them dudes, and Fred was like 5'9" or something, 5'10" or something, whatever it was. Jason Day, who's stupid enough to get a 5'7" cornerback in an age of the league where the receivers are averaging 6'1", 6'2"? The Saints. That's what they did, But yeah, Fred, they were little dudes, man. Jason Day was Alex Molden was what, 5'11"? He used to get killed out of there, dude. Oh, Brandon Browner. Oh yeah, that dude, man. They got Brandon Browner late in the game. They tried to play him at cornerback. They should have kind of converted him to a safety and put him more into like a Cam Chancellor role, because he had no speed. He had the size, but he didn't have the speed. And the Saints just stupid. They just was doing crazy stuff, man, back in the day. Yeah, but they got him at the wrong time, man. Brandon Browner was not a good choice for the Saints to put at that cornerback position. I talked about it a long time. I was like, man, that dude should be converted to a safety, like on the back end of the defense, but not at no cornerback. And the Saints I think that year they was dealing with a lot of injuries. It was just an awful time for Hoodats. Anyway, on a lighter note, man, listen, hopefully nobody gets traded, but these are just some of the trade rumors that's circulating around with the New Orleans Saints and Houdat Nation. Listen, I done ran up to my point. I'll probably be back later on in the day, fam, when to recap the Pelicans matchup against the Atlanta Hawks tonight on the Pelican Post Game Report. If all the Pel fans can feel free to join us at the Pelican Post Game Report. Come over and subscribe and join us tonight as we recap the Pelicans getting that dub. And listen, on the Saint stuff, we'll return on Monday with more Saint content, man. We'll keep an eye on all this stuff going on. But currently, like I said, the Saints black and gold right now are just, according to Sport Over the Cap, are just at $10.9 million in the red. So they're getting close and closer to getting the green. So with that being said, I'm going to end on that. Listen, I appreciate all you guys for chiming in on this episode of the show. Do me a favor, hit the like button, hit the sub button, and also feel free to share the show on your social media feed. It helps us out a lot. So I'm going to holler at y'all on the next line. Much love. Who that?
Yeah. Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Long as I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. Sports Coma, yeah, this is where we do that. 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 Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Sports Coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Somebody please better help. Running this thing like elf. I thank God every day I'm not a felt. Go to YouTube Live with Big Q and the guys. If you ain't ride or die, the bandwagon get flipped. Been marching in, that was way for the ring. I was yelling out your shade for the championship. Bucking on town, duck down. Falcons, pluck, get shut down. Panthers ain't much touchdown. The vision really belong to us now. So much hate on the Saints, you could probably tell. Ever since Bounty Gate hit the NFL, when things seem fishy and you probably smell the crooked referees or Roger Goodell. Yeah, probably like this and I'm a who that. Every day I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. It's the Sports Coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. It's the Sports Coma, this is where we do that.
You're listening to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys on the PRO Media Network.
Say they gon' beat them, say who that? Who that? Who that say they gon' beat them, say who that? Who that? Who that say they gon' beat them, say who that?
I'm just trying to give you something spooky out to forget. I'm just trying to give you something. Something spooky out to forget. I'm just trying to give you something.
WhoThatDaily.com. That's right, WhoThatDaily.com. Your one-stop shop for everything New Orleans Saints, New Orleans Pelicans, LSU Tigers, even the top flight boxing news. So if you're a Who That and you're looking for a place to stay up on your team, WhoThatDaily.com is your site. The WhoThatDaily.com for the sport Who That in all of us. That's right, the Pro Shop is the platform store where you can go and buy all the latest merch to support the platform. Available at the Pro Shops, we have dozens of hundreds of products available for you and your family. Unisex tees for men and women, hoodies and sweatshirts, tank tops, kids and baby items, long sleeve tees, mugs, pillows, wall art, bath bedding, face masks, phone cases, stickers, bags, fanny packs, socks, hats, and many other items. Please feel free to check out the Pro Shops. The link is in the